Let's briefly discuss subdivisions before moving on to the main pieces of actions and benefits. Subdivisions are used to break up the analysis groups into different pieces for tracking the results. You'll see them play a larger role in later episodes. We can create subdivisions based on any database field. These are the fields which will define the subdivisions for your performance measures. So some common examples would be, say, on and off the NHS system, or subdivision by district, or subdivision by owner. So this will allow you, let's say you set up one for owner, this will allow you to set up results based on how did my state-owned bridges versus county or locally owned bridges perform on my performance measures. We will be using these later. Let's talk about benefits, which in a lot of ways is one of the main events of this training. Benefits are the changes to a structure as the result of work. So there's some default out-of-the-box benefits, but you should look at these as an example and then work to model your agency's typical work. A benefit can be connected to multiple actions, and an action can have multiple benefits. So this means you could define something like replace super, and then use the same benefit on a replace super action, and as part of a replace super and deck action, and even just a replace structure action. You can use a benefit with multiple actions. Now let's go through the possible ways to define benefits and talk about the details of each. Some of these were added in 522 and some in 523, all with the goal of better modeling the kinds of work that an agency does to a structure. First, we have the changed elements section. This defines a benefit where all or part of an element in a certain condition state is moved to another condition state. And then the cost will be modeled as the cost per unit fixed. So in this example, we have pothole patching a concrete section of approach slab moves all of the condition state 3 and condition state 4 quantities to condition state 2. So if I had a structure that had 20 square feet in condition state 3, it would model all of that moving to condition state 2, and then the cost would be modeled as that 20 square feet times my unit cost. Next, we have the ability to model removed elements, and this defines a benefit which removes an element. This can be for record cleanup, say removing defects, or this can be for removing elements like, say, temporary shoring, or removing an asphalt overlay to exclude it from any further deterioration analysis. And the cost of this will be modeled as the cost times the total quantity of units. So if I have 10,000 square feet, it would be the 10,000 square feet being removed times my unit cost. Replaced elements section defines a benefit in which one element is replaced, and not necessarily in kind or completely. You can define a different new element to replace it with, or you can define that only part of it is replaced. Costs will be estimated in terms of the cost per the total unit quantity. The Create Protective Systems section lets you add elements to the structure. But due to the complexity of the quantity of a new element, in this version we're limiting the new elements to just protective systems, which will inherit their quantities from their parent element. And the cost is modeled as cost per unit added. Then we have this field section. The field section lets you model changes to other fields. That could be NBI fields, that could be your scour ratings. All tables and columns of bridge data can be modified, but the modification will not be applied to your current inspection data. The optimizer will take a snapshot of that data, and then as it models into the future, it updates that data only in its hypothetical scenario, so it won't affect your inspections to change fields. But this is the only way for you to model changes to NBI values if you're doing only NBI deterioration. We'll discuss fields a little bit more when we get to actions. And finally, we have the risk section. The risk section lets you model changes to the risk assessments. Seismic or scour countermeasures could be modeled using this. There's no direct costs associated with these benefits, but we will discuss other ways to model the costs when we get to actions. It's worth reiterating that your benefits should affect the utility nodes. Actions and their associated benefits will be weighed in terms of cost to benefit, and the benefit is calculated as the delta utility. So it is critical that your benefits affect the nodes present in your utility tree.